Good evening, students. Welcome once again. We are back with another session for our subject Biology for Engineers. Last session we have discussed about the topics of Unit 1. In Unit 1, we have discussed about structure of prokaryotic cell, structure of eukaryotic cell. We have seen the diagrams of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Next we have seen about different biomolecules. What all the biomolecules we have discussed? We have discussed about carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, vitamins and enzymes. We have discussed about all these biomolecules in the previous sessions. We have seen the biomolecules definition, classification and functions of carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, vitamins and enzymes. So all this topic we have discussed in our previous sessions. All these topics are from the Unit 1. The remaining topics of Unit 1 we will be discussing today, and if we do the remaining topics, 3 topics are remaining in Unit 1. If we complete that, today we will be completing the first unit, Unit 1, that is Introduction to Life. Unit 1, Introduction to Life, we will be completing in today's session. If we do the remaining 3 topics, the 3 topics what are remaining in Unit 1 are: the first one is characteristics of living organisms, and second topic we have cell theory, and the third one is classification, basic classifications. So basic classification, cell theory and characteristics of living organisms, if we complete these 3 topics in Unit 1, today we'll finish off the first unit. Everyone maintain a separate notebook for biology and copy all the diagrams, practice all the diagrams and the flow charts, classifications of carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, vitamins and enzymes, what all biomolecules we have discussed. You need to write down all the things what we are discussing in Unit 1, that is Introduction to Life. I'll check your notes and give you the marks for assignment for the internals, first internals. So everyone maintain the separate book for biology and practice diagrams. By seeing that diagrams and all the notes, you'll get the marks for assignment. Coming to the topic, characteristics of living organisms. All living organisms have certain characters. These characters will differentiate them from non-living things. So living organisms are having certain characters that is differentiating them from the non-living things. So we will be discussing what are the different characters of living organisms that will differentiate them from non-living things. All living organisms, all living things are made up of cells. All living organisms, from small living organisms, unicellular organisms, to big living organisms like human beings, all are made up of cells. Living things are made up of cells. This is the first character of living organisms. What is cell? Cell we have discussed. Two types of cells we have discussed. Prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. What is a cell here? Cell is defined as smallest unit of living organisms. It is the smallest structural fundamental unit of all living organisms. All living organisms are made up of cell. Each cell is bounded by a membrane. Yes, we have discussed. And also it is containing DNA. What is DNA? It is the genetic material. It is the nucleic acids. Cells will contain the DNA or the genetic material. Nothing but the nucleic acid. And the main character of living organisms is they have the ability to convert food into energy. Food is converted into energy by which cell organelle we have discussed? Mitochondria. In animals, in plants, food is converted into energy in which cell organelle? Chloroplast. Chloroplast in plants will help in photosynthesis and that will give them energy. So this is the main characteristics of living organisms. Living organisms also grow, produce, respire. They do the process of respiration and more. These characteristics are making the living organisms separate from non-living things. So cells in living things, they grow, develop and differentiate. All living things are showing the process of respiration. Living organisms are also preparing food. Food is giving energy. Metabolism, different metabolism. Metabolism, what is metabolism? Metabolism is nothing but the chemical reactions, the different chemical reactions going on in the living organisms, living things. Living organisms will undergo different chemical reactions are called as metabolisms. Living organisms, other characters. What are the different characters, other characters of living organisms? Living organisms, they are taking nutrients. Different nutrients we have discussed. What are the different nutrients or the biomolecules? We have discussed in previous sessions. Carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, enzymes. All living organisms are taking these nutrients and they are using it for growth, and that is helping them to survive. The metabolic waste products produced by the metabolism is excreted by the process of the excretion. This is also the main characters of living organisms. Living organisms, what are the other different characters of living organisms? They also, living things will movement. They change their positions from one place to another in search of food, water, or to protect the living things, living organisms from different enemies. So movement is also the another character of living organisms. Plants. The another living organism, plants, they move towards sunlight for their growth. All living things can regulate and maintain a constant set of conditions. That is nothing but homeostasis. They maintain a particular conditions for their survival, for their adaptations. That is nothing but the homeostasis. So all these are the different characters of living organisms. So living organisms are made up of cells. They have DNA, they have the ability to convert food into energy, they grow, they produce food, they respire and more. All these are the different characteristics that is differentiating them from non-living things. Characteristics of living organisms. Topic in Unit 1. Next topic we have is cell theory. Cell theory is proposed by Matthias Sheldon and Theodor Schwann. Matthias Sheldon and Theodor Schwann proposed this cell theory. What is cell? Cell, again we have discussed in the previous sessions of Unit 1. It is the smallest unit of living organisms, smallest fundamental structural unit of living organism is nothing but cells. All living organisms are made up of cells. We have discussed organism with only one cell. What do we call them? We call them unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms, a single cell will be performing all the activities independently. On the other hand, we have multicellular organisms like human beings. They have several cells. Several cells will coordinate with each other and help in the maintenance and survival of the human beings. So cell theory is proposed by Matthias Sheldon and Theodor Schwann, which says about the cells. Propose the cell hypothesis, which states both animals and plants are made up of cells. All the plants and animals are made up of the basic unit. What we are calling it here is cell. Cell is the smallest unit of all living organisms. All living organisms are made up of cell, and cell will have all the cell organelles we have discussed in our previous sessions, and each cell organelle will be performing a specific function which will help in carrying the metabolic activities or the chemical reactions of all the living organisms. So when we see the postulates of cell theory here, all organisms are made of cells. Cell is containing the hereditary material. What is the hereditary material? It is nothing but the genetic material. What is the genetic material? Nucleic acids. What are the nucleic acids? DNA and RNA are responsible for transfer of characters. Cells come only from the reproduction of existing cells. Cells are structural and functional unit in the living organisms. Cells are responsible for all the metabolic activities. What are the metabolic activities? Chemical reactions, metabolisms. A cell is a small mass of protoplasm. It is containing the nucleus and all the other cell organelles we have discussed in the previous sessions. So all living organisms are composed of cells. Cell is the building block of all living organisms. It is having cytoplasm, and cell is consisting of cytoplasm and cell organelles. We have seen in the previous sessions of Unit 1. Cell are the functional unit of life. All the important functions are carried out by the cells. Cells arise from pre-existing cells. These are all the postulates of cell theory. Cells divide. Cells divide by which process? Yes, by mitosis and meiosis, and they form new daughter cells. They help in growth and development. So we have the cell theory here, which is saying about the cell concept. States that the cells are the morphological and physical units of all living organisms. Cells originate only from the cells by the process of mitosis. Smallest unit of life is what? Cell. Smallest unit of life is cell. All these are the postulates of cell theory, which was proposed by Sheldon and Schwann. Next we have classification, basic classification. In the classification we have 5 kingdom classification proposed by Whittaker. Which says that all the living organisms are classified into prokaryotes, eukaryotes, protista, plantae, fungi and animalia. So basic classification is given by Whittaker. 5 kingdom classification, which says about the classification of living organisms into 5 different types. 5 kingdom classification proposed by Whittaker. In the basic classification we also have this kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. So in basic classification Whittaker proposed this 5 kingdom classification on the basis of the structures. What are the structures different organisms are having, basing on that structure? Prokaryota. First one, empire prokaryota. Prokaryotic cell we have discussed in the previous sessions of our Unit 1, Introduction to Life. Prokaryotes. Which prokaryotes we have discussed? Bacteria. Example of prokaryotes. Bacteria, we have seen the structure of bacteria, the diagram of bacteria we have seen. Everyone should draw the diagram of prokaryotes. By checking the diagrams, I'll give you marks for assignments for the internals, coming internals, first internals. So example of prokaryotes: bacteria, Monera, cyanobacteria, different examples of prokaryotes. Then we have eukaryotes. In the eukaryotes we have protista, plantae, fungi, animalia. Eukaryotes, protista, under the protista kingdom we have examples like unicellular algae, diatoms, protozoa. In plantae we have plants. All the plants will be coming under the kingdom plantae. Kingdom fungi. In kingdom fungi we have fungi and molds. Then in the last one, kingdom animalia, we have animals. all the animals will be included in the kingdom Animalia. So this is the basic classification given by the Whittaker. And coming to this basic classification, this flowchart consisting of kingdom, starting with the species, so by this we are completing the unit 1 in our today's session. If we do this remaining topics what we have discussed, we will be completing the unit 1 today. And this, so classification. What is classification? Classification is nothing but, what is the definition of classification? It is a process which is helping the living organisms in identification. How? A process of identifying the similarities between different living organisms and then grouping those organisms which possess similar characters is nothing but classifications. So classification is defined as a process of identifying. We need to identify the similarities between different organisms, and then after identifying the similarities we need to group those organisms which possess same characters into different groups. We call it as classifications. So these organisms will be grouped on the relationship between them. Related organisms are grouped together, while organisms which are not related will be placed into different groups. So this is the classification. Such a type of classification is introduced by the Linnaeus. Carl Linnaeus have introduced this classification, basic classification, the topic in the unit 1, the last topic. This is the last topic. If we do, we'll finish up the unit 1. First one, species. Starting with the species, then genus, family, order, class, phylum, kingdom. Species is the basic unit of classifications. Species is nothing but a group of organisms which closely resemble the certain characters, and they are able to interbreed freely to produce the offsprings. So species is the basic unit of classifications. Next we have genus. Species is the basic unit of classification. And next we have genus. Genus refers to a group of species. A group of species is nothing but genus. Example, banyan and fig will be grouped under a common genus, that is Ficus. In spite of differing in their habitat, shape and size of leaf, they are similar with respect to reproductive organs. The reproductive organs in banyan and fig trees will be placed under a same genus, that is Ficus. So this is what genus refers to, the group of species. Then we have family. Family refers to group of genus. Singular we call it as genus, plural we call it as genera. So family refers to group of genera. We have order. Order refers to group of closely related family. Example, in Carnivora we have families like Canidae, which will include dog, fox, wolf, and in Felidae we have lion, tiger, cats, leopards, and all these are closely related families. We are calling it as order. Then class. Class refers to group of one or more related orders. Then we have phylum. Phylum refers to group of one or more classes which have at least few common characters. Then we have kingdom. This is the highest category in the taxonomic classification, and it refers to group of plant division or animal phyla which resemble with respect to at least one character. Kingdom Animalia. Example, Kingdom Animalia, which includes all the multicellular organisms, heterotrophs, and all are included in the Kingdom Animalia. So what is the main significance of classification? Classification makes the process of identification, and we need to study the living organisms. It is making the study of living organisms easy and convenient by classifying, by arranging the organisms in appropriate categories. So classification is the process of arranging organisms into appropriate categories based on the observable characters. So we have 5 categories here, 7 categories: kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. Each category is a unit and also known as a taxon. Taxon, we are calling it as taxon, taxa. So species, basic unit of classification. Then coming to genus, genus refers to group of species. Family, family refers to group of genera. Order, order refers to group of closely related families. Then class, class refers to group of related orders. Phylum, phylum refers to group of classes. Then kingdom, it is the highest category which refers to group of phylum including animal kingdom. Example, all multicellular organisms will be coming under the kingdoms. So thank you students, we have finished the unit 1. In unit 1 all the topics we have covered. What are the topics we have covered in unit 1? We have seen with the first one, eukaryotic cell we have seen, then we have seen prokaryotic cell, then we have seen biomolecules, definition, general classification and functions, important functions of all the biomolecules, carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, vitamins and enzymes. And in today's class we have seen the characteristics of living organisms. Characteristics of living organisms. Then we have seen cell theory. Then we have seen postulates of cell theory. Then we have seen basic classification by this topic, basic classification. This is the last topic of unit 1, and we have finished the unit 1 in today's session. In next session we will be starting unit 2. Unit 2. What is unit 2? Unit 2 is biodiversity. We will be starting with unit 2, biodiversity, in our next session. And unit 1, that is introduction to life, we have completed in our today's session. Next class we will be starting with unit 2, biodiversity. Okay students, thank you.